All right. Today we got a deal, a subject to deal in Herriman, Utah. I think this is just outside of Salt Lake City. Let's take a quick look at it. Where's Salt Lake? Salt Lake City's there, so it's south of it. Okay, got it. And this is a 3-bed, 2.5 bath. Looks pretty much turnkey. I might set aside some money for painting on this property, but that's pretty much it. All right, that works for me. Now let's see what it is. 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 4.75%, $405,000 purchase price. The total monthly payment is $26.76 with a $24,396 entry fee. So let's put these numbers in. $14,396, $10,000. That covers the entry fee. $405,000. That covers the asking price. $380,000 for the principal on the underlying loan, which we can see right here. $386.04, 4.75%. Matures 4/1/2052, so this is going to be 22. All right, that works for me. Now, for my rehab, how much square feet is 2,100? I'm just going to set aside just a little bit of money on a rehab calculator spreadsheet with a 2107 equals 2107 in G86 on a rehab calculator sheet. That gives me about all the money I'll possibly need to probably renovate this property because it looks relatively turnkey. I got $5 for any landscaping that needs to happen on the outside. And I don't think I need any money for the roof because if it's a townhome, it's probably a common roof, so that should be covered in HOA in case there's any repairs needed. That's pretty much all I got for this property. That gives me a $9,800 rehab just in case there's anything that's needed. Let me double check I didn't have anything in there. I got 3 toilets I'm replacing. All right, that works. Okay, so then I got a little contingency, so it gives me $9,800. Next most important item is I have to get the monthly income rents. So the first thing I need to do is look at what county this is in. This is in Salt Lake County. So when I Google HUD FMR, HUD FMR, that's which stands for fair market rents. I'm gonna go down and click on access to small area FMRs. Click on that link. Click on FY 2025 small area FMRs. Go to Utah. And this is Salt Lake County. And now I'm gonna get by bedroom count, by zip code, what the maximum rent is for 84096. You see that 84096, your rent ceiling for a 3-bed is $27.90. So let's write that one down, $27.90. I'm assuming there's no space to add extra bedrooms because it's a townhome. 84096, 84096. So I'm going to leave that zip code in there. And now I'm going to get the market rents and compare that to what I'm seeing here. Now, on the market rent, I can see that we'll have to plug in the address in the market rent estimator, right? Go to affordablehousing.com, owner section, market rent estimator. That's how you get to the screen. Put in bedroom count, and you can see that the average rent is $1,673. $1,670. That's almost $1,000 lower than what the rent ceiling is. That's crazy. Big difference. So that means the market rate has not caught up to where it is. And the reason you had to use $1,673 to underwrite this deal, I'll use $1,675. Because you see that this is a relatively small radius within a 0.11 mile radius, right? That means this is probably all the townhomes next to it. And that instantly gets you 23 units. That's a pretty small radius. That's a pretty comparable market. So if you're looking at the Housing Choice Voucher Program Guidebook, HCV stands for Housing Choice Voucher. And HCV is what was previously known as the Section 8 program. They rebranded it from Section 8 to HCV because of all the negative connotation that used to be associated with it. So in section 2.2, you will see the test called the rent reasonableness test. And it says here, in conducting rent reasonableness, the PHA, or the Public Housing Authority, must determine whether the rent to the owner is a reasonable rent in comparison to rent for other comparable unassisted units. So in determining comparability, the PHA, or the Public Housing Authority, must consider the following factors where appropriate and practical. You got a location, you got a quality, you got a size, you got a unit type. So obviously you want to compare 3 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, but in this scenario, because the radius is so small, I have pretty high confidence that this 3 bedroom is probably going to be likely. So that's why I am using the lower of the two, because it's the more reasonable rent. If you underwrote this deal with $27.90, chances are you're going to be grossly overestimating your rent. So beware of the test and don't overestimate your rental revenue. Okay. So now, to determine my cash flow perspective potential, I need to get my total payment amount of $26.76, which is disclosed right here, which includes the HOA. So I'm not going to double count the HOA expense. So it equals $2,676. What's my property tax number in B28? $26.76. I'm going to subtract the principal portion of subto loan minus the interest portion of subto loan, and that's going to be $690. That means this is how much I'm paying for property taxes and insurance currently. Now, I backed into it because I didn't need to think about, hey, what is exactly my principal amount? What is exactly my interest amount? Because it's going to change every single month. So that's why it's just easier to just back into it and just have a general sense of whether or not this deal is worth your time to investigate further to see whether or not you want to analyze this deal further, right? Now, I'm going to add extra $30 for insurance on here. And that's because I'm changing it from typically a primary residence property to an investment property. So I anticipate the insurance expense going higher. That's why I got extra $30 in there. I have 10% of my rent set aside for maintenance, right? Because something's going to get replaced in your home eventually. It could be the roof. It could be the water heater. It could be the air conditioner. All these things will break down eventually. So this money doesn't belong to you, right? This money got set aside every single month for those anticipated repairs. Because if you don't have it, you're going to be grossly overestimating your profitability because you underestimate your expenses. All right. So then I got 10% set aside for property management. I got 5% set aside for vacancy. So that gives me, if I rent it out as a 3-bedroom property for $1,675, I would be losing negative $1,449 a month, which is a huge negative net 39% cash flow. Now, obviously, this is not investment advice. I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it, but I'm just simply showing the work I do every single day to analyze the deal really quickly and decide whether or not it's worth our time or not. And in this scenario, if I think I'm going to be reaching into my pocket for $1,000 every single month to support this rental, is that a deal? Probably not. But hey, there are some people that just want to break even on their deals from a cash flow perspective. Because they might think, hey, I'm buying $1 million home. It's going to go up by 5% every single year. That might be $50,000. Who cares if I don't make $100 a month on the cash flow? Right? You might diversify. And again, that's why it's going to be very unique to your own situation, your own goals and risk tolerance. That's going to be up to you on your own to decide with your own professionals, with your own consultations. So again, this is not solicitation for any investments. Not asking. This is not investment advice. So I hope this was helpful. This is how you analyze a creative finance deal. Even though it might look really good as a 4.75% interest rate, does not necessarily mean it's a deal, right? Especially if you're after cash flow. Could it be a deal if you want to live there as a primary residence? Yeah, it could be. But that's up to you and your own personal preference and your own situation, all right? Thanks for tuning in today. And if you guys want to copy the spreadsheet, right? Just go to affordablehousing.io. Go to the Get Deal Analysis tool. Plug in your name, email, phone number. I promise I won't spam you. I might reach out and ask you for feedback on the tool and see what other changes I should make to it. But this is the fastest way to get a copy of the spreadsheet. And my hope is that you copy my homework, you analyze the same deal I analyzed today, right? Using the same spreadsheet and put it on your own YouTube channel. So that when the time comes for you to pull the trigger on a deal, you're going to have the confidence that you know what you're doing and you know how to spot a deal. All right. Have an amazing Wednesday, everybody. I'll be back here again tomorrow for day 327. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow.